Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed the first video. Hopefully we can follow up the debut with something similar. So today what I wanted to talk about was, have Newcastle bottled their first transfer trophies? So obviously Newcastle are playing Liverpool in the Carabao Cup in a couple of weeks time, or a week and a bit, and they're going to be without Anthony Gordon now. So obviously they played the weekend against Brighton and went out in extra time. So they went out in extra time to Brighton. Arguably they could have gone through in normal time with that goal at the end that was disallowed, but I think when you look at the game, they just didn't seem to have the nous to get through it, I think. And it's going to be a massive uphill task when they play against Liverpool in a couple of weeks time. I think they were already underdogs coming into it, obviously, and to lose Gordon, who's their one of their top three players, I think is massive for the game in a bad way. I was really looking forward to watching the game. I thought if anyone's going to beat Liverpool on the day, it's probably going to be Newcastle, you know. They showed at St James's Park they can give them a good game, so I was actually quite looking forward to seeing that. And I just think with Gordon being out now, it will make Newcastle a bit more toothless going forwards. I think we saw them without Isak the other game. I forget who they were playing. Liverpool, actually, yeah. They were playing Liverpool without Isak, and they were a completely different side. They just had no threat going forwards when you watch them play. And obviously having Isak for the Liverpool game means that they'll have a direct threat in terms of obviously the striker. They'll have the closest person to the goal they'll have, but the support around him just won't be there as much. I think Harvey Barnes is an adequate replacement. He'll do a job, but he's not Anthony Gordon, you know. He's not as direct, he's not as quick. But you never know. You never know because at the start, if they can get Barnes playing like he was at the start of the season, when he was keeping Gordon out of the team at times, or keeping Gordon on that right wing, and he was bagging goals, then maybe they'll have a chance. But I think it's a massive challenge. I think you need, especially against Liverpool, Isak needs the people around him, because he's going to have Van Dijk and Konate after him for that whole game. So he could have done with Anthony Gordon against Trent, because it would have just dragged Konate that bit more to the wing, giving Isak a one-on-one with Van Dijk. Now I'm not saying he's obviously going to do Van Dijk, but with the form he's in, if anyone's going to do Van Dijk this season, it would have been Isak. So I think the chances of them winning that final went from about 20-25% to about 10-15, I think. They can still do it. Still have a lot of good players: Tonali, Guimaraes, Hall, Joe Willock, I think I rated him. And then, but I think to have two wingers of Murphy and Barnes either side of Isak when you're going up against Liverpool this season is a tough ask. And in terms of the FA Cup, before the game, I was meant to get a prediction out. I never actually did it. I actually predicted that the winner of that game between Brighton and Newcastle would win the whole FA Cup, I think. I don't know why. There's a weird thing this season with the FA Cup, and I've really enjoyed it. I actually think the FA Cup magic is coming back in terms of teams are respecting it more. You know, they're giving it their first teams, and you're seeing results which are like the old FA Cup, like that we remember. And it's making it much more enjoyable, much more competitive. You look at the Fulham United game, I know it was a boring game, but Fulham went through. Like 10-15 years ago, you wouldn't have seen that. United would have got a lucky goal from somewhere and gone through, you know. So I think it's really enjoyable. I've really enjoyed the FA Cup this season, which is probably the most I have outside of Arsenal winning it in a long time. But yeah, I predicted that Brighton or Newcastle, whoever won that tie, would win the whole thing. Now Brighton, I think they've got so many good players, but they're just a very weird team this season. Like, you don't know what Brighton's going to show up. It could be the team that lost 7-0 to Forest. It could be the team that beat Chelsea 3-0. Like, I couldn't tell you what team's going to show up on what day. So I think that, but don't get me wrong, I think every team left in the competition has a great chance of winning it now. Maybe outside of Preston. I think that would be a massive underdog story if they did that. But you look at Brighton, you look at Bournemouth, you look at Fulham. I look at all those teams and I think you could beat City, or you already have beaten City. And Fulham probably should have beat them earlier in the season. Bournemouth and Brighton have already beaten them. So I don't think City are this massive team they need to go and be scared of now. I think they know, nah, if we get City, we can do them. Like, we can beat them. I think that makes it great. I think it makes it absolutely great for the game. I think Bournemouth could actually knock City out in the next round. And if they do that, it's anyone's game. You know, it's great for the competition if they can knock City out. And then you'll have someone winning their first major domestic trophy ever. Someone like Fulham or Brighton. So I think it's going to be really exciting at that stage of the FA Cup. And like I said, I'm not sure now between Brighton and Bournemouth, but I still think there's just something happening between Brighton or Fulham. I think those are my two that I'm looking at going. One of them two, I just don't know. I know Bournemouth have been in great form, but I think they're going to focus on that league. I think they want that top 4 or 5 for this league type, for this league position. And I think Bournemouth might actually come in the top 5. I think there's a chance they can come top 4, depending on how well City can manage the rest of the season. If City get Rodri back for the last 5-6 games, like apparently they could do, then maybe City squeeze into that top 4. But I think we could genuinely see a top 4 or top 5 without Man City in it. I'm not sure with Chelsea. I keep thinking with Chelsea at some point they're going to pick up. But yeah, I think Bournemouth will focus on that league. But yeah, going back to Newcastle, I've said 50 years without a trophy for them if they can't win the Carabao Cup. And I think they were really unlucky last season in terms of falling out of the Conference League, because that would have given them that in on trophies, you know. But there we go. Hope that's a bit better for you guys. Yeah, hopefully that Conference League, hopefully they can secure some sort of European football this season for their club. Of course, they're going to need it for the finances now, because we're hearing that if the player doesn't want to leave, they're going to keep him. They're not going to be forced to sell. So Isak, Gordon, Guimaraes, all those players, unless they want to force a move, they are not going to be in a position to sell Newcastle now. But yeah, I just thought, I looked at this FA Cup for them, I thought, just go for it, you know, because Liverpool is so, you need everything to go for you this season to beat Liverpool, I think. Like, the only teams that have beaten them this season are PSV in a dead rubber Champions League game, and Forest and Plymouth. So Plymouth, everything right for them on the day. Liverpool played a weakened team, and they didn't have any of their superstars on the bench either, which made a massive difference. But then obviously during the game, a lot of things went for Plymouth in their way, which they deserved, don't get me wrong. They played fantastically well, Plymouth. But obviously Liverpool didn't take their chances. The keeper played outstandingly well for Plymouth. So everything went in their favour there. Forest at home, when they lost 1-0, everything went in Forest's favour in that game, you know. Liverpool just couldn't break them down. So maybe, actually, you can look at it and go, Newcastle will just sit in this whole game against Liverpool. I think even more so now they're going to have to. I don't think they defended well enough in the game at Anfield. I thought they were way too soft through the centre. They were too timid to Liverpool. They weren't aggressive enough in their challenges. So they're going to have to step it up a notch for this final, or you're going to see the exact same result again, I think. I think maybe without Gordon, they might actually be on the back foot more. I think they might have to just think. I think mentally they'll think, oh, we need to sit in here, like we really need to just defend. I think Newcastle basically just going to sit there and counter. Like that's how it's going to look. It's going to look like when they played Arsenal in semi-finals in that in the away leg at the Emirates, where they defended their 18-yard box superbly well. Like when I was watching, I was thinking, this is like if Mourinho did this, it'd be called a Mourinho masterclass. Because all they did, they nicked the early goal, early-ish, sat in their low block and just countered beautifully with Isak. Like I said, with Isak, you could basically win any game of football if you have him in your team. I think he's one of those players where if he's on your team, you always stand a chance of winning the game. So they've just got to keep it tight at the back, and then you never know. You know, I think all you need is Konate to have an off day, or Van Dijk to not be at full throttle, and maybe Isak just makes it work between them, you know. So unfortunately, I think it might just be too much from Newcastle, but I'm going to be still hoping and supporting the Newcastle win, because I don't want Liverpool to win another trophy, because they're already going to win at least one this season. They have every chance to win the Champions League. I think they're just as good as anyone else, probably more. But I suspect Newcastle wait for a trophy will go on one more season at least, which is very unfortunate for them, because I actually quite like watching Newcastle play. You know, I actually like their players. Surprisingly, as an Arsenal fan, I don't like playing there. When we got them in the Carabao Cup, I looked at that draw as like we got the literal worst possible team that we could have got there. I think I would have rather played Liverpool home and away, because I not expect us, but I can see us getting a result at home to Liverpool much better than I can see us getting a result at home to Newcastle, because our style just doesn't go with theirs. It's just complete, it doesn't work. Every time we play them, it's a really scrappy game, and if we have a scrappy game, it never works out well for us. We're never the better team in the scrappy game. So away from Arsenal, hopefully Newcastle can pull out the bag, but again, I'm not convinced. FA Cup, they're going to have to just go again next season and hope they can qualify for Europe this season maybe. Yeah, it's unfortunate for them, because both trophies were very much attainable for them this season, and they can still get one, but Anthony Gordon being out, for me, the way I see it, I just think it's one step too far for them now. I hope you enjoyed this bit of a shorter video today. I will try to keep it a bit shorter from now on, I think, because it's just easier for you, easier to take in the content. If it's an hour video, I know you have to sit down, you have to actually like be like, okay, cool, I'm going to watch this for an hour. So yeah, I hope this is a bit better. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you. Bye.